Hello guys and welcome back to the Together We Grow podcast. My name's Paul
And I'm Tamer.
and this is episode 41. This is the podcast where we teach home fragrance business owners how to start, grow and scale up their business based on all of the experience we did growing our home fragrance businesses. And today we're going to talk about what to do when you feel stuck in your business. Because believe me, we've been there numerous times. I get there now in the Home Fragrance Academy.
Yeah.
There's always moments where you just feel stuck. You're not really sure what to do. And as we have gone through that so many times, I feel like we have a bit of an idea on how to push through it.
Yeah. Hopefully from this episode you'll be able to take away what to do, how to get through it and what to focus on.
So let's get into it, shall we?
Let's go.
So feeling stuck in your business is something that you will feel. You might feel it now. You might have felt it previously. You certainly will feel it at some point. We did. And it's normal. No matter what stage of business you're at, that's the key thing I want to talk about really is you might just be starting out and you're stuck because you don't know how to build a website.
Mm-hmm.
You might have launched, but you're stuck because you don't know how to get more sales coming in. You might be getting loads of sales, but you might be stuck on how to fulfill orders and how to grow the logistical side of your business, the operational side of your business.
So at every single stage in your business career, you can be stuck multiple times, can't you? You can get that feeling and it is completely normal.
Exactly. It might not even be big things that you're stuck on. You might just feel like it's not really going where you want it to go. You might be feeling really burnt out and just stuck because you are just in your business all the time. That's what we felt like. I certainly did. From the moment we woke up to the moment we went to bed, it was like constantly switched on, and that made me feel stuck. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. Is we're going to talk about what we did, what I certainly did, and maybe you can shed some light as well on the things you sort of felt. And but what I want to sort of say is, if you are feeling stuck, it does not mean that you're failing. Okay, because I know it's very easy to sort of put those two together. I know I certainly did. If I ever felt stuck, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if this is for me. I'm failing. This isn't going to work. You just can't see a way through it. But what it kind of means is you're kind of between stages of either growth or whatever it is you're stuck on now. You just need to get through that.
Yeah.
And you don't know all the answers. You're not supposed to know all the answers. But when you speak to people who have been there and done it, or you might have mentors, advisors who have built businesses in the past, or even just someone, a friend or a family member who's a bit switched on, who can just help talk you through things, be there to listen to you. That could help you get unstuck. And then you push through that until you get to the next stage where you might become stuck again. And then you repeat the process. Yeah. So it happened loads for us. Okay. So you're not unique in that situation. Okay. And I feel that one of the first things I did, bear in mind, I was stuck a lot. So this is from sort of my experience on how I dealt with that. And I watched videos on YouTube. I didn't really listen to podcasts, but I read blogs and things like that and books of other business owners who were in similar situations. Okay. And what I learned and what I did was you kind of need to zoom out from where you're at right now.
That's something that's quite difficult to do sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. I think one of the worst things you can do if you're feeling stuck is just like do more of what you're doing, because all that's going to do is dig that hole deeper for you. Sometimes I really feel like you need to just zoom out and really focus on why are you feeling stuck? What is it? Is it low sales, low confidence? I'm not sure how to deal with angry customers. You might have a team member who is sort of dragging their heels a little bit. All these different things you can feel stuck on, but you need to really identify what that is. And when you do feel stuck in a business, like I said earlier, you can tie that into feeling like a failure and all this. You need to really try and separate those emotions away from what are actual business problems.
That's a very difficult thing to do, of course, because obviously you're only human and naturally, especially you're exactly the same. You're the sort of person that will always blame yourself and try and find a reason that you've done something wrong. So that's quite difficult to separate that sometimes. But like you said, it is very important to do that, to try where you can to be as objective as possible as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, like you said, I know it's easy to talk about this and it's hard to do in practice because believe me, I know what it's like where you just feel hopeless. You feel stuck. You feel like you're pulling your hair out. You feel like panicked and like your head is just going everywhere. I get that so often. But you do need to like really just ground yourself and try and separate that, work out what it is you're stuck on and try and solve that problem, which we'll talk about, but try and solve that particular problem. And a really good way to help your mental state at this point, that problem might not be solved yet, but the way to really help your mental state here is to go back to the simple money making tasks, those things that you know will help generate some orders. Because let's be honest, in a business, no matter what stage of business you're at, when you have a nice chunk of orders coming in, whether it's from one particular promotion or it's consistent, that's always a good feeling. That always helps to relax you a bit more.
Yeah.
Because the logistics, the operational side of things, that can be taken care of. The hardest thing in business is to make money, is to get sales. Okay. So go back to that. Spend some time, forget about this thing you're stuck on. Let's spend some time making some money. So send out those emails, send out more emails than you normally would. Create a particular offer that where you're trying to sell a product, create a limited edition offer for the weekend.
Create a bundle.
A bundle, all this kind of stuff that we used to do at Cozy Aromas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it really helps. Go through that process of, we talk about this a lot. So if you're part of the Home Fragrance Academy, you'll know all about our pre-launch campaigns, all this kind of stuff. Do yourself one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This weekend, say to yourself, I'm going to launch a couple of limited edition wax melts. There's only going to be 50 of each available. Everyone who buys them are also going to get something for free. I don't know, whatever it is. Create a no-brainer offer, something limited editions, only available for that short time. Do your pre-hype, your hype leading up to the launch. Launch them, do your whole launch campaign, then obviously thank them afterwards. Go through that process. You'll get those sales coming in. What this does, yes, it gives you a nice cash injection, of course, but what it does, it boosts your confidence. At the end of that, you'll be like, you know what? Actually, I do know what I'm doing here. I have built a company where people do want to buy from. I have built an audience that do care what I'm doing. And also, it was me that did that. Yeah. I built that audience. I have made these products. These people are buying these products from me. Mm-hmm. That helps you. That really helps to boost your confidence.
It does, yeah. And it takes a little bit of weight off for a moment when you've got that money coming in. You know that's coming in a couple of days from your Shopify payouts. So you can breathe and relax a little bit and then go back and focus on the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is, and this is what I do, or certainly what I did, I'm now trying to change. But when I used to get stuck on something or feel like a failure, I would just consume loads of content. I'd go through stages of just watching educational video after educational video constantly, because I think that gives you that like dopamine hit of like, yeah, I'm learning stuff. This is good. I can do this. I can do this. But it comes to a point where you need to stop learning. And that even includes from us as well. Just, we've got loads of content, all this available. Just take a week, take 2 weeks off where you just stop learning and stop consuming more stuff. Okay. And actually implement the stuff that you've been taught. You don't need to hear the same thing over and over and over. How often am I talking about no-brainer offers, building an audience and community and email flows and all this? You don't need to hear that anymore. Just do it. Okay, implement it. Spend some time actually implementing this stuff. Stop learning more.
I think it feels like a bit of a crutch, really, isn't it? Where you think you're doing the right thing by consuming more, but actually, if you're putting exactly the same thing into your head again and again and again, you already know that. So like you say, you just need to start implementing it. Just choose one thing to start with that's easy enough for you to implement, and you can start today, immediately, and do that. Implement that first thing straight away, and then the next day you can implement something else. So take small steps and individual changes, and then you'll see progress and you'll see change, and then you'll be more confident and you'll feel better and you'll get your sales coming in if you're doing it right as well. And things will feel a lot better.
Yeah, they really will. They really will. That's it. It's just take a break from consuming all this content all the time, isn't it? And really try to implement it one piece at a time. Because it's you feel like you said, you feel like you're doing the right thing, but actually it's just filling your head full of stuff
for the sake of it.
And ultimately actually makes you feel more like a failure because you're watching all these videos from people that have been there, done it, done something successful. They're trying to motivate you, but then because and I'm talking here from my real experiences, I'm stuck on something in my business. I feel like a failure, but I'm watching all these videos from people that are
successful.
That's just compounding that fear of failure. So just stop doing it for a while. Just really just log out of YouTube, just ignore it for a while, log out of the Home Fragrance Academy for a couple of weeks, and just you know what you need to do, just do it for a couple of weeks.
Shut your laptop, move away from your computer, and sit there with a piece of paper and a pen and think, right, where am I stuck right now? What have I learned that should help? And then just choose one thing off that list.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to basics almost that way.
Yeah. Okay, and the other thing, next thing I'd recommend doing is talking to someone about the business, about the problems, all of this. Talk to family, talk to friends. They might not understand because unless you have a business owner friend who is in a similar type of business as you, it's going to be very difficult for you to have a proper, meaningful conversation where they can actually help with that task. Because it's very lonely being a business owner, right? But they can give you that emotional support. They will definitely have insights. They will definitely have experience, especially if you're talking to a family member who's older than you, wiser, who's got that life experience.
Yeah.
They'll just calm you down. They'll say the same old thing, which is, just don't worry, take it in your stride. Everything will be fine. I know that doesn't really help in terms of the actual problem, but it's nice to hear that sometimes.
It is. And as well, your family and friends want to support you, don't they? They want to be there for you. And sometimes just going around a friend's house, offloading everything that you're struggling with, sometimes just doing that is enough. And knowing that they're there to listen to you, even though they can't actually help you exactly and give you the advice 100% that you need, they can be there just to listen to you and support you, hold your hand when you're struggling, and just be a sounding board.
Exactly. And if you do want that proper business advice, then I'd recommend finding yourself a mentor.
Yeah.
Someone who you can talk to about these challenges, who can really sort of talk from a proper business side of things, who have been there and done it, and can provide you with those insights.
Yeah.
This is something I wish I did during Cozy Roamers. I think things could have been so much better than what they were.
Yeah.
And we could have grown quicker if we wanted to, but we would have maybe not made the mistakes that we did make along the way and learn the hard way.
And also things would have been a bit easier when we got to stumbling blocks and we got to these points when we felt stuck, because we'd have had somebody to be able to speak to about it quicker.
Yep, exactly. Now, being a mentor, that's something that I've been thinking about that a while, haven't I? Is actually introducing a mentorship program. If that's something of interest, please shoot me an email. Happy to talk about that whilst I'm developing the idea a bit more. But otherwise, you'll probably find that in your local area, they'll have business improvement development schemes and things like that. And they do normally have free, or certainly you'll get a grant to get business advisors and mentors and things like that. We certainly have this around Ipswich, and I know they have them in Norwich as well, just up the road from us, because I used to deal with that kind of thing.
So it's worth looking into in your local area.
Exactly. But that's important, okay? Really important, because you can't just do this all yourself. Another thing I like to do is remember why we started the business, and also remind myself of where we're at.
What you've achieved so far.
Exactly. What have you achieved so far? Even if you've just started, even if you're only just started, you need to remind yourself that you have done the hard thing. That so many people want to talk about. They want to do, but they just don't do. You've started a business, okay?
You've launched your website. You've sent out your first 10 orders. They're all milestones, aren't they?
They are. You should be incredibly proud of that. Just remind yourself of that. Okay, if you're a bit further along in your business journey and you've hired someone or you've moved into a premises, remind yourself of what it took for you to get there, the risks you took, how successful you've had to be to get to that point. It's really important to remind you of these good things of where you've been.
Yeah.
The amount of times when we were at Cozy Roamers and I would be in a panic, you know me, I'm such an overthinker, and there'd be a particular challenge and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I get up and I walk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to walk around the warehouse and I didn't say anything to anyone. I just lurk in the background and I just look and I'm like saying to myself, oh, you've built this. You know, you guys have built this. No one will be here if it wasn't for you. It's because of what you've created that you're sending out these thousands of orders every month, all this kind of stuff. And it's really nice to do that sometimes because then you're like, okay, yeah. Same as what I said earlier on. It's like, okay, I do know what I'm doing. I can get through this. I just need to overcome this obstacle.
Something that I quite liked that we did in our last warehouse was we had a big empty wall and I just stuck up loads and loads of photos, didn't I? Photos that I'd taken right from the beginning of our journey all the way through, and I'd get them printed out regularly and I'd just keep putting them up. So when Paul was in one of these moments and he's really struggling, he could literally just walk past that wall and be like, oh yeah, that's where we were a year ago, that's where we were 6 months ago, and see the progress on the wall and sort of almost bring yourself back down, don't you?
Yeah.
And feel calmer and realise, okay, we have done this, we've got to here, so we just need to focus on the next step.
That's it. And I think you have to just realise that whilst you do, everyone, you're always going to have challenges. You're always going to feel stuck in your business. It doesn't mean that your business is going to disappear overnight.
No.
Okay, you just need to get through that particular challenge. And remind yourself of why you started the business, and reconnect with that original goal that you had when you first started. Are you there? Are you at that goal yet? Have you still got some way to go? You'll certainly be making inroads into it. And also, your goals might have changed as well. So you can take that time to update them. Just take some time away,
Sit there with a pen and paper, like I said earlier, and just away from everything and like almost focus in.
Yeah, exactly. So to wrap up, this feeling stuck in your business is normal. It happens all the time. Okay. Really kind of zoom out of where you're at right now. Try not to just keep doing more of the same thing because you'll just dig that hole deeper. I promise you will. You want to really try and separate how you're feeling emotionally with actually what the problems are in your business. Solve those two things separately. Your emotional side of stuff you can really solve by talking to people, and the business side of stuff I like to go back to basics. Like I said a little while ago, the money making tasks, send out those emails, do a limited edition launch, remind yourself that you know how to generate sales if you need to.
What I used to say to you in that sort of at that sort of time was focus on something you can control right now.
Yeah, exactly. Take some time away from consuming lots of content. Try not to compare yourself with other brands. Try not to keep watching educational videos from us on YouTube, wherever you consume this content, and actually implement some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, like I say, talk to people, talk to family and friends for the emotional support. Find yourself a mentor. I can be that if you want me to, or I'm sure you can find others if needed, who can help you on the business front to help you solve that particular problem. Then remember why you started. Remind yourself of where you're at. Those little reminders of actually, I do know what I'm doing. For me, just me saying this and talking about this now reminds me of those times, and it makes me feel all kind of like warm. And I'm, it's like, yeah, you do know what you're doing. You just need to solve this issue. Keep things nice and simple. Okay. Simplicity is what you're doing. So focus on when you do feel really stuck. Okay. It's that simplicity. It's break it all down. Find out what it is you're stuck on. Do something that will remind yourself that you know what you're doing. Talk to people. Move forward. Overcome that obstacle. And that's it. That's what I recommend doing. That's what we did. And that's what I recommend you do.
And of course, we know this is a very difficult thing to do, and you're going to be really stuck in your head on this, but just try. Try as hard as you can, write everything down, and just give it a go because it's worth a try, isn't it?
Yep, it really is. Good. That was a nice one. I enjoyed talking through that.
Yeah, hopefully this helps some people who are in the position, on multiple positions that are stuck right now, to just refocus a little bit.
Exactly. So there you go. That was episode 41 of the Together We Grow podcast. Thank you very much indeed for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff.
And don't forget to let us know in the comments what you'd like us to cover in future episodes as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And we'll speak to you in the next episode.
See you soon, guys.